Well, happy Thursday, Bronco Nation. Bronco Nation News Live here at BroncoNationNews.com, broadcasting on the social media channels today of both Bronco Nation News and KTIK, the ticket, because it's Thursdays. That means Mike Prater is with us from the rowpaint.com studios there in downtown Boise. Mr. Prater, appreciate it, man. How are you?
Good, BJ. How you doing on this fine Thursday morning?
I'm great, man. I was podcasting your show last night about 10 p.m. I'm one of the folks that is usually too busy to listen live, and I listen on the podcast, and I've never been happier with Mike Prater when I heard you agreeing with me on the Clayton Kershaw situation yesterday. Not to get into too bit of a side story here and get sidetracked, but I was all over Johnny on social media yesterday, and I was so happy to hear both callers and you agreed with me.
Yeah, that was kind of a no-brainer. But I understand Johnny's point of view, not to get too deep into it, as you said. He's the emotional guy. You and I are the realistic guys. Let's win a championship and not worry about history. And that's why we love Johnny Ballgame, Mr. Emotions.
I couldn't believe I was agreeing with Mike Prater on something, but I did, and it was great to see. Rudy chiming in, over 1,000 subscribers. Way to go. We did reach 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, Prater. So today we're giving away 2 free rounds of golf to Timberstone Golf Course.
What?
I forgot to mention this in the pre-show meeting. We have to come up with a way to give away 2 rounds of golf today. So maybe we'll do the best comment or best question on the show today. We'll pick 2 at the end of the show and give away a free round of golf to Timberstone Golf Course to commemorate us getting over 1,000. There's Carter saying 1,000. Congrats. I don't know how it works, Prater. I just know if you get over 1,000, it helps you show up better in the searches. Maybe you can make a little money on it. And now that Bronco Nation News is there, we got to get KTIK's Facebook page over 1,000. So let's start working on that as well. Apparently we started 1 minute late, so people are already getting us, Mike, for being a minute late here. But that's the beauty of social media. We can start when we want to, I guess. But got a good show planned today. We're going to hear from Wyatt Milkovic, the linebacker, 3 stars out of Chandler, Arizona there. He committed while visiting for the spring game. We've got a full about 20-minute interview with him that's available for subscribers on BroncoNationNews.com. But we'll hear about a 3.5-minute clip of that to kind of tease that and hear about him deciding to commit to Boise State and what he brings to the table as a linebacker for Boise State. But Mike, our first chance to chat. We're kind of spending this week wrapping up spring ball with the various co-hosts, guests here. We had Johnny and Tust already. We got you today, and kind of putting spring ball to bed at least for a couple weeks. We'll turn our attention to basketball for the next couple of weeks, starting next week, and kind of review their roster and their situation, and then move forward. But first time we get to chat since the end of the spring game, Mike. So we were there in the press box watching the action last Saturday, and everybody knows the stats and all that by now. But what were just kind of your general takeaways from the spring game last Saturday?
Spring games are kind of a waste of time, and that's kind of weird to say if you're looking for the X's and O's and certainly strategies of trying to figure out this football team. If you're a fan and you just want to show up and kind of do what we do at practice, kind of look at the roster, look at the numbers, look at the size, look at the speed, try to get a physical count of what the new guys look like. And if you're there just for the football family, I told Johnny it was cool. There was a little tailgating going on. Nobody had to physically distance. To me, it was more about the Boise State football family all getting together for the first time in a while, and it was beautiful. The parking lot had a little bit of a buzz. I know it was a little bit cold. I know it was a little bit windy, and I know some fans bailed at halftime, but it was just good to see the family back together again without any kind of restrictions. And the football part, kind of like what we expected. Offense is never really going to show much. They teased about that all week long in pregame or pre-spring game interviews, and the defense looks like it's dominant. The back half of that defense is going to be spectacular. I cannot wait for those guys to make some plays. The back half of that defense is going to be the serious playmaker of this football team in the fall.
First submission for the free tickets. His submission is, how did Prater become the smartest guy at KTIK?
Oh, the smartest guy. I don't know if I'm the smartest guy at KTIK. We all take our turns. JP's pretty damn smart, and Johnny's the emotional guy. I could be smarter than Johnny a lot of the times just because of the emotions, but he's an encyclopedia as well. So I'm not sure I'm the smartest guy. I'm going to put myself at number 3.
Well, again, if you want to win a free round of golf, I got the coupons right here. We got 2 free rounds of golf at Timberstone Golf Course. Complimentary round. There you go.
Can I win those, or
I can hook you up on the side. We'll make that happen. You're already getting 1 free round for the playing in the tournament, but yeah, we got some extra ones here. But yeah, if you want to win a free round of golf at Timberstone, give us your best comment, your best question. We'll pick 2 at the end of the show and go from there. But where are you, Mike, on making assumptions or big picture decisions or things based on a spring game? A lot of fans were all over Hank Bachmeier's performance, throwing the pick, only being, I think, 12 of 23 in that game. And I know Johnny was kind of saying he is who he is, and I'm not sure where you're at on Hank, but just in general, there was a lot of overreactions, I think, to people forgetting 2 linemen were out. Halani didn't play. 2 of the receivers were out. The tight end Riley Smith didn't play. You mentioned kind of a vanilla offense. I thought way too much was being put into Hank Bachmeier's performance with the pick. But where are you, I guess, in terms of reacting to what you see in a spring game and making kind of big picture decisions or assumptions?
BJ, I'm starting to worry about you a little bit. I'm starting to worry about our relationship a little bit. This might be the second time we've agreed with each other in the last 24 hours. Anybody that showed up and made an assumption or an opinion based on that spring game on Hank Bachmeier, first of all, because you showed up, I thought maybe you were one of the smarter fans to do it, one of the more hardcore, devoted fans. But come on, guys, be a better fan than that. If you're going to make assumptions on Hank Bachmeier based on what you saw last Saturday, you've got some serious issues in terms of your football knowledge. So, Hank Bachmeier came out and did exactly what he was supposed to do. Be vanilla. I know he threw the red zone pick, and that's always going to be some concerns. We talked about the playmakers in the back half of that defense. Leave Hank Bachmeier alone. Let's judge him starting with Oregon State in September and beyond. We're going to get a full body of work there. And I firmly believe that Hank Bachmeier is going to be better. I talked about Boise State scoring 30 points a game, him scoring 30-plus touchdowns or producing 30-plus touchdowns, and him throwing for 3,000-plus yards. He's really close to that last year. I think he can do all that this year as he continues to get better. My big takeaway from the spring game was the backup quarterback. I went into the spring game thinking Taylor Green was going to be your rock-solid number 2. And we started hearing about Sam Vidlock during spring camp. We saw him in practice at spring camp in the limited time that we had him. Dude's got a rocket of an arm. Dude picks up football like crazy. He may not be the great freak athlete that Taylor Green is going to be, but I think there might be some serious competition for Sam Vidlac and Taylor Green as the number 2 quarterback. If Hank Bachmeier goes down against Oregon State or any other time, I'm going to be very, very curious who marches onto the football field.
Yeah, Kurt Blake chiming in, give me Taylor Green, and you wonder too what the there's other things involved, Mike, than just who's number 2. You have to look at future years and which quarterbacks stay or go, and it's not quite as easy as Sam Vidlac's number 2, we're going with him. I mean, you got to keep Taylor Green happy too, or he might be gone. So how do you that's going to be interesting how they weigh that for sure going into the season.
Do we think that Taylor Green, if they don't keep him happy, is gone? I don't know. I mean, they're both young players. Vidlac could, he could come here and be here for 3 or 4 years. I don't know the math off the top of my head. Certainly Taylor Green's been here for a year too, and he's got a bright future ahead of him. But, I just see the writing on the wall that it's a little bit closer of a competition. I think Sam Vidlac might be the better all-around quarterback. Taylor Green, probably the better athlete. I think that's pretty obvious here. But who can take care of business the most on the football field? That's what all these behind-the-scenes practices are. They probably talked about that ad nauseum in that Monday practice that was behind the scenes in private. We're going to try to put a bunch of stuff on film so they could practice all summer long and look at the film. I'm very curious as to what the coaching staff thinks about that situation.
Yeah, Carter Davis saying 1,000% agree. Green still does not look comfortable throwing the ball. Vidlac might take it from him. Perry reminding us that Kellen Moore set the bar pretty high.
We're reminded of that all the time around here.
Derek says Prater not mincing words. Love it. Rudy's submission. He says, will Prater outbid Elon Musk in buying Twitter?
What did he bid? $43 billion?
Something like that. Yeah. Well, he did I think it was $35 a share. You could probably come up with $35 for the whole thing, right?
Well, we're having an Easter egg hunt here at the Cumulus offices, the KTIK offices today. And I already found an Easter egg with a $1 bill in it. So I got $1. I got you $1, BJ.
What else, Mike? I mentioned some of the linemen being out. We did hear a lot of good things about Cade Beresford along the line. Yeah. We didn't see much of the tight ends, obviously, because they didn't do much in the game, but also because Riley Smith was out. Austin Bolt did have a couple of catches. Looks like Steph Cobbs is ready to be that number 1 receiver. I think he had 6 catches for 61 yards and a touchdown. You've got Crow, as a backup running back. We didn't see much of Halani. I think that Ashton Genty looks like he's ready to contribute. What else offensively, just from the spring in general, stood out to you?
I do like the explosiveness, and the coaches have mentioned the explosive plays a lot. I think that was part of the scoring system in Saturday's spring game as well. There's been an emphasis on explosive plays. You get Austin Bolt. You know what? If you get the ball in his hands once a game, is that asking too much? Obviously, he's never caught a college pass after a couple of years. Get him the ball a couple of times a game, even in a wildcat or a fly sweep kind of formation, and then throw the ball at him a couple of times. Explosive play number 1. Static Cobbs, in terms of he can be an explosive play guy. I think Ashton Jeanty can be an explosive play guy. We didn't see much of that on Saturday, but we know in the scrimmage before that, he had the only explosive play, the 65-yard run, and they were talking about how beautiful that was against this Boise State defense. So Ashton Jeanty, explosive. Static Cobbs, explosive. Austin Bolt, explosive. I think if this offense can get its act together, and I don't really mean to say get its act together, but fine-tune what it's doing and get the ball in these three playmakers' hands, this can be an explosive offense that we haven't seen around here for a long time.
What do you make of the hype around Beresford, the tackle?
Ooh, we've all had a chance to meet him. And my partner Ball Game mentioned it perfectly. He's Paul Bunyan. I mean, that dude is big and thick. He 310 pounds.
I think he was even wearing a flannel shirt the day we met him.
He was wearing a flannel shirt the day we met him. And he's 300 pounds. He looks like he weighs 200 pounds. And he's just a physical beast of a man. He can fall a tree. He doesn't even need an axe to cut down a tree. Are you kidding me? I think he's great. And you know, I know he played left tackle for OJ on Saturday. They're going to probably move him to the right side for the game or for the season this fall. If you can keep OJ healthy and if you can have Beresford healthy, for the first time in a long time, the bookends tackles on this football team and the line, especially with all the interior experience they have on this football team, I think the offensive line could shake up to be pretty damn good. And I like this Beresford kid.
Yeah, two big tackles. You bring back Keikani Hololomia Gonzalez at center, I think is a big talking point that kind of led to some of the dominoes falling negatively last year when they were trying to find guys to replace him at center. So I think that's a big deal. You got Ben Dooley back, Curran, right? Will Farah as well. I mean, you got a lot of guys in there, I guess, that are going to be fighting for spots. And so, I think the line has a chance to be pretty good this year. I do agree. And again, I'm really excited to see what they do with Jeanty. I think he's a guy that, whether it's in the slot, whether he takes some handoffs, I mean, we're all counting on George Solani to stay healthy, and that's a big if this year. But I think Jeanty looks like he's capable. And I like what I've seen from Tyler Crow, man. The guy starts as a walk-on, works his way up to get a scholarship. He keeps fighting. It sounds like he may be that guy that is the short yardage back this year, maybe take over that Andrew Van Buren role. But I mean, Crow was a guy that was, getting all of his yards in the fourth quarter of blowouts, and he's leading the team in rushing in a couple of those games last year. And it sounds like he's continuing to get more. And so that ground game, Prater, which was so bad early in the year, it got better late in the year. But you put, the combination of the offensive line and this group of running backs, I think they're really, and they've put a lot of emphasis on it as well. I think they're really hoping the running game is much better this year.
I would agree with that, but I also said this earlier this week, that's the one area, and don't just go out and grab one to grab one, but I hope they're looking at the transfer portal. That's one area where I want them to at least explore the running back. And I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with the unproven depth there. I'm not sold on Crow like some of you guys are. Ashton Jeanty, I think we're all sold on his potential and what limited things we've seen from him this spring. But I don't want to go into a football season with running back depth as a question. George Solani getting through a full season, that's not always a given. So I hope they're perusing the transfer portal. It's kind of transfer portal month right now as football teams wrap up spring ball and everybody's trying to figure out where they fit into these programs. And I think there's going to be a lot of movement with football teams, and I'm not sure where Boise State's going to go, but I would at least dip my toes into the transfer portal and look for a running back and see if there's somebody there that can be the dependable guy, almost kind of like a Cyrus Habibi-Likio, a niche guy that can come in and just give you a little bit of depth. And back to the Holani, though. I want Holani to be the goal line guy. You talked about Crow being the goal line guy. It's time for Holani to be the workhorse. From the zeros to the zeros, from goal line to goal line, I want him to get 25 carries and 15 touchdowns. I think that dude deserves it, and I think he's got that kind of potential.
Well, let's switch over and talk defense. But first, quick shout out, BoiseDentistryCo.com. Dr. Chris Meinert there. Those are my kids on the screen. They very rarely smile, so he must be doing something right. I've actually got to check up next Thursday, I believe it is, with Dr. Meinert for a teeth cleaning. So if you're looking for a new dentist for the whole family, family dentistry and wellness, we just love it. Our whole family's made the switch. We're very happy with it. So BoiseDentistryCo.com. Check them out online. You can switch over and he'll talk Boise State with you while he's working on your teeth. It's a great setup if you're a BSU fan. So BoiseDentistryCo.com. Transportation compliance service as well. I know Prater is getting fed up with Johnny on the show. He's thinking about a new career change late in life here. Truck driving is the way to go, man. 1,000 people a day are becoming truck drivers. It's a booming industry right now. And TCS is a national company, but they're based in Meridian, and they're signing up all kinds of people with all the permits and things you you need to get out on the road. So if you're looking for a fresh start, a new career change, and one that's pretty lucrative, check them out, transcomservice.com. And finally, United Commercial Insurance, another national company, but based here in Meridian, in Boise area. They can write policies in 44 states around the country. United Commercial Insurance makes business insurance easy. So if you're a local business owner, which I know a lot of you guys are that watch the show, you may think you have good business insurance, but whether it's a liability or workers' comp, all the different business insurance, just give them a call, check them out, see if they can get you a better rate. 229-8222. You can check them out online, UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. Prater, I do have we can throw this in there now. Rudy said, basketball question, is there anxiety building in the basketball offices over Nganga not having signed yet? And I did mention that to you before the show. I haven't talked to anybody yet. I do know that the main two SIDs are on vacation this week that would be putting out the press release and things like that. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I don't think there's anything, basketball, it's not the same as football, Mike. Guys once they commit, they're committed. You don't have coaches coming in and stealing guys away. So I don't think there's anything to be worried about yet, but it is at least a little interesting that Nganga hasn't signed yet. But we'll just have to kind of see that, I guess. But the basketball roster, you guys had Bob on yesterday talking about the transfer portal around the Mountain West, but the basketball roster is a little in flux right now because you obviously lost Kejab. Looks like you lose Akot, you lose Pryor. And then you bring in, hopefully Nganga, and then you've got Trent Whiting, who went on a mission over there from the east side of Idaho as well. So they've got one scholarship right now to play with, but I know they are, I think expecting Nganga, and obviously need to get him signed. I was watching some of his highlights, man, from the last couple of years. You go back and look before he got hurt. This dude was just unbelievable. I mean, if he's back to his fully healthy self, you're talking about a top 15 prospect in the country that Boise State may have, quote unquote, got a steal on, because I know a lot of the bigger programs when he got hurt kind of weren't sold on him as much. But if he's back to being healthy, man, they have some pieces they need to replace on this roster. We don't know what's happening with Armouche. We don't know what's happening with Shaver, but I think there's a lot of reasons to be excited about Nganga as long as they can get him signed.
I would agree with that. And I have looked at the same film, and, he's a little thin. He probably needs a little bit bulked up and certainly get out on the court and just take care of his body and take care of some business. I like the Whiting kid too. It kind of fits my own personal need of bringing another shooter into this roster. Hopefully a consistent shooter, because we know what Marcus Shaver did toward the end of the season. Would love to have Marcus Shaver back. We'll see how that shakes out. I think he's down in Arizona right now doing his thing and trying to figure out his future. So that roster is very much in flux. And I would assume that maybe we'll get like a bulk package when it comes to that press release in terms of some roster changes to this Boise State basketball program.
Yeah, Perry asking about Armouche as well. I've been told that Armouche is literally 50-50. He's still on the fence, and he's in Boise and still in town and working out. And I'm told that it's literally 50-50 right now on what Armouche is going to do. I do think they believe Shaver will be back. That is kind of the plan for him to come back. And then Akot is probably not coming back, but who knows? In 2 weeks from now, if Akot realizes he doesn't have any better options than what he had here, I don't know if Boise State would want him back or not. But I think it's, not to toot my own horn here, but I ranked him as Shaver most likely to come back, Armouche in the middle, and Akot probably gone. And it looks like that's at least right now, still, a couple weeks later, what the rankings would be. Kurt's saying we lost Pryor. Yes, Kason Pryor did decide to transfer a couple weeks ago, and I don't know if that was him transferring or the coaches saying, hey, man, you can find more playing time somewhere else. It goes both ways. Well, I guess Derek saying no news is good news in regards to Mladen, but Nick Wade, I guess, Prater breaking some news for us, telling us Shaver and Armouche coming back. So maybe I guess we didn't know that, but Nick, thank you for letting us know about that. We'll see what happens. I think Shaver is probably going to come back, but and Armouche, I still think from what I've been told, again, is 50-50, but he very well could decide to come back. I do want to get back to football, though. Appreciate the basketball comments here in the middle. I want to get your take on the defense, and then we do have a short interview I want to play, Prater, with the linebacker commit Wyatt Milkovic from Arizona, Chandler High School, 3-star linebacker. But first, before we play that, just what was your general? We talked offense for 15 minutes, but what's generally your takeaways from this defense now that spring ball's wrapped up?
Yeah, the playmakers on that back end are going to be just fantastic, and that might be the most exciting part of this football team this fall. So I cannot wait to do that. We didn't really see too much out of the front, the defensive line, the edge guys. They didn't, a couple of key players were missing, and I don't think that they put much there. I would say I have the most confidence in this football team in the front 7 of that defense, or in the front 4 or 5 of that defense. But I said that last year and kind of got burned. It didn't turn out to be the strength. They had dependable depth issues there. Looks like to me right now they have at least 2.5 rotating lines that can come in on the outside, on the inside, and they got some dependable depth. This Hogan's kid, a new kid, is getting all kinds of buzz, and we know who, the guys that are coming back that are really, really good. So if it wasn't for getting burned last year, I would say that this defensive line is the strength of this football team, and I still do, but I guess I'm going to be more skeptical. And then the middle of that defense, I'm a little bit worried about that. The linebacker really isn't a great strength. I like the fact that they're bringing Shea Oladipo down to the nickel position where they absolutely have some depth issues. They're even tinkering with Tyreek Jones in that spot. They got lots of safety depth. The safety position is going to be rock solid. So they're moving some things around. They're experimenting. They're trying to patch a few holes here and there. But this defense, BJ, it's going to be rock solid.
Hey, thanks to Ridley's Family Markets. ShopRidleys.com. 13 Idaho locations. Frequent that Cuno location often. They got the at-home shopping, the Skip app, the home delivery, all the great new technology to help you out there and make it convenient for you. So ShopRidleys.com. You can find the location near you. Big supporters of Bronco Nation News, as has the Blue and Orange Store. We appreciate their support, the blueandorange.store.com. You can go into Boise Town Square Mall and check out the stuff in person, all the new Nike gear, all the Boise State gear, or as I said, you can get all their flash sales, all the daily deals at the blueandorange.store.com. The Blue and Orange Store will be providing the prizes for the golf tournament, Mike, and Lithia Ford of Boise will be providing a brand new car. If anyone can hit a hole in one, I believe it's hole 6 out at Timberstone. We're going to have a hole in one contest. So we appreciate Lithia Ford of Boise for their support of Bronco Nation News. Whether it's a new or used car, get out to Lithia Ford and check them out. It's right there in Boise off Fairview, and all great deals going on there. So we appreciate their support. You can check out their inventory, LithiaFordBoise.com. And yes, they will be providing a hole-in-one. I think it's a brand new 2022 Ford Escape if somebody can knock in a hole-in-one. And I think they're going to have it there, and you can just drive it right off the property, Mike. If somebody gets a hole-in-one for the golf tournament, which is on June 3rd, check it out, Timberstone Golf Course. We do have foursomes and hole sponsorships available. Mike Prater will be out there playing. Maybe you'll be lucky enough to get him as the 5th player in your foursome. You're still the most requested person in the tournament so far, Mike,
nice.
For folks wanting to play with Mike Prater. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, I guess, but Don Moe chiming in. It's good to have football talk back. Let me get this off the screen here. Good to have. Can't wait for football. Love that Armouche and Shaver are coming back. We got a lot of good comments coming in, but let's hear briefly, Mike, from Wyatt Milkovic, 3-star linebacker from Arizona. There's a 20-minute interview that you can watch the full interview online for subscribers at BroncoNationNews.com. But here's the newest Boise State linebacker just committed during the spring game. This is the beginning of the interview, him talking about his commitment. Going down to Arizona for this one, another commitment after CJ Tiller from Arizona as well. 6'1", 234-pound, 3-star linebacker, one of the top prospects in Arizona. A linebacker, Wyatt Milkovic, is joining us here from Baisha High School down there in Chandler, Arizona. How's it going, man?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Really appreciate you coming on, man. I know you've been doing some interview stuff, but it's good to, on the video form here, just to get to catch up with you, let Boise State fans get to hear from you, and tell us just about your recruitment. I saw you got an offer from Boise State, just a day or two before you visited, or maybe while you were on your visit, and then it didn't take you very long after that to commit to Boise State as well. Just tell us about your recruitment.
Yeah, so, for the past few months, I've been talking to a lot of coaches, like mainly Coach Danielson, but also with, Coach Cooper. And, kind of just wanted to build a relationship with them. And, what I loved was that, not only do they want to know about me, but they want to know about my parents and, kind of just learn more about me so they can make sure it was a good fit both ways. And, I went over to Boise State right before the spring game. So I came out actually on Friday, and, I had actually a meeting with Coach Avalos Friday night before the visit, and that's when he offered. And, so then the next day on the visit, the visit went so well, and then I just committed right then and there. And ever since then, the relationship's still been, super solid.
So on the visit, so the night before they offer you the visit, and then the next day, or the scholarship, and the next day you said, I've seen enough. I don't need to go visit anywhere else, or you didn't even have to go home and think about it. It was that quick.
Yeah, I knew beforehand, this is the place where I wanted to be. If anything, I was kind of more just like waiting to get the offer. But, it had a lot of things that I loved about it. I mean, not just from the town to the coaching, just the program in general, and the type of family atmosphere it really has over there. And, that kind of just did it for me. And so, I knew it was a good fit.
Had you been to Boise State before? And I know you said you came on the visit, but let's see here. It looks like Wyatt maybe having a little bit of we'll see if there he is. Lost you there for a second, man. So that was your first time coming to Boise then for the spring game?
Yeah, that was my first time. Yeah, being in Boise. Yeah.
What did you think of the town and the campus and everything on your visit?
I mean, from the town, like I loved it. I loved how everything was so close, and I know the family atmosphere, between the program and the coaches is insane, and I know that the fans, they love their Boise State football. So, just that type of college town vibe is everything that I really wanted. And
well, you made it official with the video. We got the video right here. This is the. I know Boise State probably helped you out with this, but you've been waiting a long time, man. First of all, it's pretty cool with the highlights here and then the commitment video. You put it on Twitter. Is number 4 your number then, I guess?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're number 4 here.
What's just to, you've been, I don't know how long you've been going through the recruiting process, but you've been playing football for a long time, man. What was it like hitting send on that tweet, man, when you committed to Boise State?
It's everything I ever dreamed of, I dreamed of that type of moment, when I was a little kid and, when I first started playing football, really. So, it was a special moment for me and, I knew it was the right fit for me. So that just made it even better.
Well, Prater, we've been following kind of recruiting and kids for a long time, but it never gets old hearing the kids, high school kids talking about, committing and making it official. And every signing day you hear the stories and stuff. But I'll tell you what, that kid doesn't look like a 17-year-old high school junior. You could have told me he was a 5th-year grad transfer from Oklahoma, and I would have believed him.
What a beast. What a beast from the neck up, man. All of a sudden, Boise State's getting out there and getting these big guys out of high school. I love that. I always love it. I mean, we all live in this community and we all know how beautiful and special this community is. And so when somebody comes in and says great things about this community, it just kind of warms your heart and kind of butters everybody up. The football stuff, the family stuff, we know all that'll take care of itself behind the scenes. But, I've never heard a recruit come in and, it's funny. Family, coaches, and the community are always 1, 2, and 3. Just once I'd like to hear somebody come in and say, I'm coming here to win a national championship. But you know what? The priorities here at Boise State are a little bit different. And these guys all say the same thing. And it's really beautiful to listen to sometimes.
Pretty soon we're going to be hearing him coming in for the NIL deals, right? We'll be hearing that.
Right. Right.
Rudy, ironically enough, says haven't seen a neck like that since Van Der Esch. Ironically enough, in the interview, he says his favorite player is Leighton Van Der Esch, and that was nice. before he even knew he was at Boise State. He's been following him, and he said he hopes to get to meet him someday. So, the full interview, it's about 20 minutes, is available for subscribers at BroncoNationNews.com. We got to get out of here, Prater. We're going to go with the 2 guys that commented the most. They were kind of going back and forth. We'll give them credit. Carter Davis and Rudy Espino and Carter Davis. You guys get a free round here. So send me an email, rains@BroncoNationNews.com, rains@BroncoNationNews.com, and I'll hook you up, Carter and Rudy, with your free round. We appreciate you guys for both being on the YouTube channel and commenting there. Prater, appreciate you, man. I'll be talking to you guys tomorrow at 4:00. On the Bronco Nation News report, unless I get bumped for a punk rocker again. But looking forward to that and looking forward to listening today, 3 to 6. You and Prater, or you and Johnny and JP will be on 95.3 FM, 1350 AM, the app, the website, KTIK.com. And as I said, I listen to the podcast forum. That's the easiest way for me to listen in sometimes. Right there's the you knuckleheads in the picture there. So that's how folks can listen in as well if they can't listen live. So appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to you soon, Mike.
Appreciate you, BJ. See you tomorrow at 4, Idaho Sports Talk.
There he is, Mike Prater. We appreciate him for joining us here on Bronco Nation News Live. And again, thanks to our winners. Oh, apparently Nganga just signed. So there you go. How about that? Breaking news on the show. We'll look and see if I can find that on my social media, and we'll try to get that up there. We were wondering about that. Was a little worried about that, why he hadn't signed yet. But we'll check the Bronco basketball Twitter account, and I assume it's coming through right now. And there it is. Highest high school signee ever. Boise State officially welcoming. There you go. Great day to be a Bronco. Help us welcome the highest high school signee ever, Cedric Nganga, And there he is. There's the photo. He is signed, sealed, and delivered. Huge news as Boise State lands. Derek helping us break the news here. Rudy, send me an email. Carter, send me an email as well. We'll get you guys hooked up with the free stuff. So thanks to everybody for checking us out, and have a great day. We'll have more on the Nganga signing at BroncoNationNews.com. We'll try to get an interview with them as well. Take care, folks. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Thanks to Mike Prater. Thanks to JP for helping us out as well. But yeah, breaking news, Nganga has signed, and we'll have more shortly. Bronco Nation News, Bronco Nation.